Deputy Noel Grealish on behalf of the Regional Group.
Good morning, Cancorla. First of all, could I offer, and that of my regional group colleagues, our condolences to Deputy Fiona Murphy, whose father passed away suddenly this morning, Patrick, and may his gentle soul rest in peace. Taoiseach, 4 out of 5 burglars released from prison in Ireland go on to re-offend within a short period of time, more than half of them within a year of their release. It's the same with people jailed for public order offences. Again, 4 out of 5 of them are back before the courts within 3 years of their being released. Their victims, the very people they robbed from and whose lives they have seriously disrupted, have to pay for these criminals to get a proper defence, as does every other law-abiding taxpayer in this country. Last year, the bill to the taxpayer providing free legal aid in criminal cases was more than €76 million. In the last 7 years, we have paid out in excess of €450 million in free legal aid. A large portion of this money is being spent on defending the indefensible. People who have no regard for the law or the consequences of their actions, who have broken the law countless times, and they know that every time that they are actually caught, they will get the best defence in court without it costing them 1 red cent. In the past, when I raised the issue of withholding free legal aid to persistent offenders who have broken the law countless times, I have been informed that this would be constitutionally impossible. In that case, we should change the law so that these repeat offenders, often with hundreds of convictions behind them, must over a period of time at least repay the cost of providing that legal aid. That is to say that we should be deducting from the pay they get from their employers until the debt is repaid. In the case of those drawing social welfare, the same should be done. A certain amount of money should be withheld from their weekly payments. Hit them where it hurts is the only way that I can see it making these repeat offenders think twice. They are making a mockery of the law, and there is never any compensation for the victim of their crimes. Then if they get caught, it's the taxpayer, including the very people that they have victimised, who have to pay for them to be defended in court. Taoiseach, the current legislation programme includes a new criminal justice legal aid bill, under which is proposed to update and strengthen the system of granting criminal legal aid. Taoiseach, will you commit to include in that legislation changes that would require defendants with a record of persistent offending to be forced to pay back the cost of free legal aid provided to them?
Thank you, Deputy Grealish. Taoiseach, please.
I just want to thank the Deputy for raising this important matter, and to join with him in offering my condolences to Deputy Fiona Murphy. Hadn't heard about her father passing on, and obviously all her thoughts are with her today. I want to thank Deputy Grealish for raising this issue. I know it's a matter of enormous annoyance to people, that people who have multiple convictions, who have a history of recidivism, get legal aid paid for by the state, which is of course paid for by the taxpayer. And I know that frustrates a lot of people who I meet regularly would raise this issue, the frustration in seeing people committing crimes on bail, and the frustration in seeing people who have a long criminal record having their solicitor and barrister paid for by the taxpayer. So I understand where the Deputy is coming from. But we do have a constitution, and we do operate on the basis that people are innocent until proven guilty. And even if somebody has been found guilty twice or 3 times, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're guilty every time. And that is the principle that we have. Presumption of innocence until proven guilty. And as has been said centuries ago, and I agree with this, better that 2 or 3 guilty men should go free than 1 innocent man be convicted unfairly or inappropriately. But I think one thing the Deputy has touched on is the possibility of recouping some of the cost from people who have been convicted. So not making the presumption that they may or may not be guilty, but if they receive legal aid or subsequently found guilty, could some of the costs be recouped? And I think that's definitely an idea worth exploring in the context of the Criminal Legal Aid Bill. So I'll certainly raise that with the AG and the Minister for Justice and see if it's possible.
Taoiseach,
thank you, Taoiseach. Taoiseach, I know that under the new bill, somebody applying for free legal aid may be asked to contribute towards the cost of their defence if the Legal Aid Board decides that they can afford afford it, but I feel that too many of repeat offenders I am talking about will be well capable of hiding their ill-gotten gains. I would like to see the bill requiring those persistent criminals with a certain number of convictions behind them to repay the costs of their defence over time, whether from wages or future social welfare payments. The principle of deducting a portion of social welfare payments is already established in the case of overpayments, with up to 15% taken from the personal weekly rate until the money is paid back. This should also be done for the defence costs of serial offenders. The taxpayer should no longer have to suffer the indignity of paying out hard-earned money for the free legal aid. The laws governing the allocation of free legal aid to persistent offenders simply has to change, and change radically, Taoiseach.
Please.
Work to modernise and improve the operation of the criminal legal aid scheme is underway as part of the criminal legal aid bill, which is currently being drafted. It's intended that as part of this modernisation, the criminal legal aid bill will update the court application and eligibility process, and in appropriate cases the applicant may be subject to an assessment of means. Following this assessment, the Legal Aid Board will be able to recommend to the court that the applicant can make a contribution to the cost of providing legal aid. However, the Constitution obliges that the state provide an accused person with the means to obtain appropriate legal representation, and the European Convention on Human Rights also provides that every person charged with a criminal offence is entitled to defend themselves in person or through legal assistance of their own choosing, or if they have insufficient means to pay for legal assistance, to be given it free when the interests of justice so require. And the criminal legal aid scheme therefore must operate with due regard to these rights.
Thank you very much.